we're good.
When was this published?
1807. I want you guys to, whatever you haven't written down, I want you to write down. So what is the poem title, Isaac?
Wondered lonely as a cloud.
Okay, so we're doing handout 14A. I Wondered Lonely as a Cloud. Who's the author, Julie?
William Wordsworth.
William Wordsworth. Kate, what year was it published?
1807.
1807. What is the speaker voice, Lena? First person. So you know that from the very opening line. I wondered lonely as a cloud. It's I. If you didn't have any pronouns, it's probably going to be third person. And if your pronouns are you, then it's going to be second person. What would you say is the theme, Grayson, of this poem that we read yesterday? So the theme is going to be like, just what's the central message?
Clouds.
So clouds are the opening line, and somebody said that last period, but I don't think the overall message is about clouds. Huck?
He sees beauty in daffodils and.
Okay, so you could say this a couple ways. The beauty of daffodils. How else could you say it? Tate.
Nature's beauty.
Nature's beauty. What else? What does it bring him?
Joy.
Joy. I put the beauty and memory of daffodils brings joy. Jackson, what'd you put for the theme?
Nature is beautiful.
Nature is beautiful. Amanda, what did you put?
How beautiful daffodils are and how they can outshine other things.
Okay, good. How beautiful daffodils are and how they can outshine other things. So regardless of how you word it, it needed to be something about nature, needs to be in the ballpark of nature, but I think very specifically it's about daffodils. So mood, every poem has mood and tone. So mood is, how does it impact you? How do you feel reading it? So Davis, what did you put down?
I said like joy and like happiness.
Okay, so the mood would be joyful or happy. Sarah, what did you put down for mood?
I didn't put it down yet, but like, I guess it was kind of like sentimental kind of.
Okay,
Wow.
sentimental. Like maybe it makes you think about a really happy time when you were walking outside. Sentimental is a great word. Julie, what did you put down for mood?
Peaceful.
Peaceful. Okay, I put down in peaceful, I put inspired. So you see like mood, the poetry can impact people in a variety of ways. Now tone is what emotion you think the author shows through this writing. So Zach, what did you write down for tone?
I said like dreamy.
Dreamy, because he's super reflective. Yeah, so that would work. Jack, what did you write down?
For the mood or the tone?
For the tone.
I put like delight.
Delight, that's great, that's a strong word. Jaden, what did you write down for tone?
I didn't write anything down.
Okay, how do you think he feels about his subject?
I mean, I guess you could say like happy.
Yeah, he seems happy, he seems joyful. Go ahead, Lena.
I would say appreciative because he mentioned like, the wealth that the site brought him.
Yeah, appreciative, going with that grateful. What Sarah said about for the mood being sentimental, you could say the tone is also sentimental or reflective. Okay? So all of those, that's looking at the substance and then getting the meaning. So the meaning is really just a reflection on the beauty of daffodils. Now, we're going to do one more thing with that, and that is, remember this little sheet?
Yeah.
Okay? You may not like this sheet, but we are going to use it to figure out, first of all, and I want you, by the way, I want you to write this on your poem. Okay, Grayson and Reagan, finding you very distracting.
Well, I'm trying to find something I can.
Wait, so we're
Right,
all reading
good.
that paper?
He's every other
We're
thing
writing
I've
it in the
used
back?
is
Okay, hold on. Grayson, what do you need?
something to write with. A pen has no ink.
How about a pencil?
Hey, you need to come prepared with us. Excuse me.
Okay. Okay, so you guys, on your poem, I want you to write this. We're not going to do this form. I'm going to use it as a guide. But I want you to write stanza. Go ahead and write it on the I'm talking about on the poem, the actual poem. Okay? So I've already done this, I don't want you to see all the answers, but I've already written, let's see.
Oh, I see them all.
Stanza, form, rhyme, feet, number of feet. Okay? Okay, so now let's look at this. How many lines are in the first stanza, Zach?
6.
6. And if you look along, it's 6 in each stanza. So looking here, what would we call the stanza of this? Sestet. So you
Sestet.
should write down stanza. This is a sestet. Okay? Okay, Tate, would you call this a lyric, narrative, or descriptive poem?
Descriptive.
Descriptive, anything that's describing nature. So, form, descriptive. Okay. Rhyme pattern. So why don't you look at the poem and see if you can figure out, do the A, B, C thing, Jack?
A, B, C, C.
Good. So A, B, C, C.
How do you do that?
And I can, because look here, let's see. So right here, I can see that cloud rhymes with crowd, so I give both of those an A.
Oh.
I can see hills rhymes with daffodils, so those are B. And then trees and breeze, C. So each new letter describes words that rhyme.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Okay. Does anybody know how to touch that screen that's videoing and take the glare off the overhead? Just tap it? I think it's.
That'd be terrible.
Oh gosh, Isaac, come on, be a hero, no. Is that right? I think that's better. Okay. Okay, so, now we get to the type of feet. So take a minute, and on the first 2 lines, I want you to figure out where is the stress. Where is the stress in this poem? I wandered lonely as a cloud.
Monometer.
No, hold on. Put the stress there, and I'm gonna ask somebody in a minute to tell me that floats on high or vales and hills. When all at once.
Tactile.
Okay, so you guys, all we're doing right now is we're trying to figure out what type of feet. Is it a unstressed stressed?
Yes.
Okay, so Davis, in the first line, what is stressed?
Wondered.
Okay, so I guess it's kind of hard to say it out loud, but I wandered lonely as a cloud. So I've put a stress on the ones that are emphasized.
Oh.
Okay. So if you go, it's unstressed, stressed. Then every unstressed stress is called a foot. Then you count how many feet. So right here, oops, let me do this with a pencil. I'm gonna draw a line, that's 1 foot. Dirt lone, another foot. Lee as, another foot. A cloud. I could come right here, that floats, that's another foot. On high, another foot. Or veils, another foot. And hills. So Joy, how many feet are in that first line? Okay, so I've got it actually divided here. So you can somebody else, this is tricky.
3.
Isaac,
Whoa,
how
3.
many feet?
3.
No,
No,
4. 4. So see this one, 1,
What are the counts?
2, 3, 4.
What is the type of feet?
So
I thought there was
the
a
type
big
of
one,
feet
guys.
was iambic,
And it's tetrameter.
and then the number of feet is 4. So this is iambic tetrameter. Okay, now I know that this is tricky, but that's why I'm going over it in class.
I thought the feet were the long things.
The feet, it's what's divided by the slashes. The slashes divide, so there's 1 foot in front, 1 foot after, okay, so there's 4. The feet aren't the slashes, they just divide the feet. Okay, we're gonna practice this on today's poem. So that's looking at the structure, we've looked at the substance, and we've annotated it. This is what you're gonna do on Thursday. You will have a poem. You will find box in words you don't know, you will find a certain number of literary devices.
For a test?
For a test?
It's an assessment, yeah. Okay, you will complete one of these.
We get our notes right.
It's open note. You will
Oh,
complete
that's-
one of
that's
these,
funny.
you will complete one of these, and that is the poetry assessment, and it is open notes. So that particular day, I would make sure that you bring everything you have about poetry.
Is it how many points?
I don't remember if it's 50 or, I think it's 50. Okay, so it's not huge, but it's 50, okay? Okay, so we're gonna do another poem together. As much as we get done, you will not have to do for homework. I'm gonna check this off tomorrow. So get your poetry packet out. And I believe it's on page 11. It's called The Tiger. How many, is there anybody that just knows they don't have their poetry packet? Without any drama? Okay. I already gave it to you. Okay? You're gonna do that. Okay, I'm gonna give you one more. Okay, so this time you guys for homework, 13A and 14A are on the same piece of paper.
I don't think he's okay.
Oh, so it's like front and back.
I want you to try to ignore him. Okay, so what's gonna be due tomorrow, look on the board over here, because we haven't had this kind of traditional homework in a while. You guys did good. This was an all or nothing homework today. It will be all or nothing due tomorrow, and we'll get as much of it done in class as we can. Okay, who did I skip? And then Adam. Okay, so what is, what's the very first thing we do? We were annotating a poem.
Find the poem. I
We have
don't
to
know
read.
what page it is.
Okay, it's on
You
page
pick the poem
11.
that you're gonna annotate.
Page 11. Okay, so here's the very first thing we're gonna do. We're gonna read it. We're just gonna read it for pleasure. There are 6 stanzas. So, who did not read yesterday? Did I skip? Did everybody? Okay, so let's do Tate and Jaden and Reagan. Tate, Jaden, Reagan, Spencer, Isaac, Davis. Okay, so Tate, if you can start us off. And why don't we just say as we'll just read it for pleasure the first time. Go ahead.
Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night. What a mortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful
Symmetry. Back then, British, symmetry. Okay. Jaden?
In what distant deeps or skies burnt the fire of thine? On what wings they aspire, what the hand their peace of fire?
And what shoulder and what are, which was the
Sinus.
sinus of thy heart? And when thy heart began to beat, what dread hand and what dread feet?
What the hammer, what the chain, in the furnace, what was thy brain? What the anvil, what dread grasp? There is deadly terror's clasp.
When the stars threw down their spears and watered heaven with their tears, did he smile his works to see, or his work to see? Did he who had the lamb make thee?
Tiger, 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 burning bright in the forests of the night. What a mortal hand or eye dare frame thy fearful symmetry?
Okay, so first reading. What would you say this is about, Joy?
I don't really know.
I mean, what would the title suggest?
Tiger.
A tiger. Okay,
It's
and
called tiger on
it would seem that it's about a tiger, and by the way, it's spelled with a Y because the Brits are very fond of Y's as I's.
The who's?
The Brits.
Who's that?
He's a British author, okay?
Brett and
So, and the way that they pronounce things are a little bit different. Like we say symmetry, they'd say symmetry. So, we think it's a tiger, but actually, I'm just gonna tell you, it's about much more than a tiger. So let's do this first part of annotating. After we read it, we would read it a second time, but we're just gonna go ahead and jump in. What do we need to find?
The author.
Stanzas.
No.
Name and author.
Spencer.
It's like the similes and the metaphors.
Okay, literary devices, but before that, words we don't understand.
Yeah.
So, what is a word that we should box in that we don't know? Davis.
Immortal.
Okay, immortal. Good. What's another one that you don't know, Spencer?
Symmetry.
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 Okay. What else? Davis?
Anvil.
Anvil.
Where's that at?
Down here.
Oh, it's over the bottom.
Okay. And then Tate?
Sinews.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, I have one.
So, Isaac?
Symmetry, your last sentence.
Okay, so we've got symmetry, and we've got it down here, but we're just gonna define it in one place. So, Tate,
Aspire.
which stance is that in?
Second.
Aspire, okay. So, immortal, anybody know what immortal means?
Like can't die.
Okay, Julie,
Undying.
okay,
It's not mortal.
undying, or maybe eternal, okay. Now, I'm gonna say it the way we say it, symmetry. How would you guys define symmetry?
Something cut in half.
Like.
Yeah, with even sides.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm gonna tell you exactly what it says in the dictionary because it's different, and usually when you look up a word, it's gonna have several definitions, and you wanna pick the one that you think fits best. So this isn't like a math definition. Here's what I think fits best. Beauty based on excellence of proportion. Did you guys hear that? Beauty based. So if somebody was really beautiful, it would be their eyes are the right size, spaced the right way, with the right nose, on the right shaped face, with the right size smile. That's proportional. So I'm just gonna say right here, beauty based on perfect proportion.
Do we have
So-
to write this?
Yes. So you're gonna have to define a couple of words, yeah. It's really easy, I do this, I just wanna skip over. I know most of the words, so I just wanna skip over. But you really, there are things that you're not gonna get in poetry unless you define them. So I'm gonna give you a couple others. Does anybody know what sinews are? Okay, those are tendons, so it's kind of like a muscle.
Disgusting.
Okay, and then,
Grow up.
anybody know what aspire means?
Yes,
Okay, Huck?
so like try to be, or to like, strive to be, like,
Strive.
you aspire to be hopefully a better person.
Right, so you, let's see, I'm looking for a word that says that you want or long.
You work to be.
Long yearn. Okay, so it's just something you want. On what wings dare he
Longing for.
yearn? Yeah. Okay, and then anvil. Anybody know anvil? Any blacksmiths in the house? Okay, Lena.
It's what you hammer out metal on.
Yeah, it's like that flat, thing that you hammer, it's an iron block that's hammered on,
Yeah.
okay? So an iron block hammered on. So if you've ever gone to those blacksmith displays where it's like they're making a horseshoe and they're holding the tongs and they put it on something and then they're hammering it, that thing they're putting it on that's being hammered against is the anvil. Okay? It's not fun to be an anvil. You're getting a lot of blows with the hammer, but you're very strong. Okay, so now we are going to look for literary devices. And we're going to read it one more time. And while we read it, I want you to highlight literary devices. We're going to start over here. Jackson, Zach, Lena, Sarah, Amanda, Jack.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night. What immortal hand or eye could frame fearful
Symmetry.
In what distant deeps or skies burning the fire of thine eyes? On what wings
tears? Did he smile his work to see? Did he who made the lamb make thee?
Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night, what immortal hand or eye could have framed thy fearful summits rise?
Okay, so basically the first and last stanzas repeat. So, they frame the rest of the poem.
Oh,
So
they did.
what's the first question being asked? This question, really the whole poem is an answer to this question, or an echo of this question. Julie, what's the question that's asked?
I have no idea.
We find
Okay.
that fearful symptom.
No, what immortal hand or eye?
Reagan, say it loud, you got it.
Louder.
What immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful summits?
So basically, who made you, Tiger? That's the question. Who made the tiger? Okay, so let's look at the first stanza, and you guys should be doing this. Griffin, what is a literary device? And if you wanted to be really on it, you could get out your list of literary devices. What? Yeah, you can do that. Okay, so Griffin, what's one literary device in the first one?
What immortal hand or eye, personification.
Okay, maybe, right here, what immortal hand or eye? What is immortal hand or eye? What does that allude to?
Personification.
Who has an immortality, Griffin?
A person.
We do?
Jesus.
God.
Okay, so this is an allusion to God, or maybe if we didn't know he was a Christian, gods. He's talking about someone who lives forever, okay? Okay, what else do you see in this first stanza that's a literary device, Isaac?
Tiger, tiger, burning bright, alliteration.
Okay, so it's burning bright, okay, this is alliteration, okay, what,
Oh.
anything else? Uh-huh.
What's the one where it like repeats, like tiger, tiger?
Yeah, so not with, anaphora. An anaphora is usually when you're starting a sentence with the same words or phrases, not just saying the same word, okay? Okay, but good, think about that, because there's a lot of anaphoras. Second stanza, what do you guys see in this? Lena, what is the literary device you see in the second stanza?
Fire in thine eyes.
Oh, what is that?
Maybe a metaphor, his eyes aren't actually burning, it's like saying his eyes are so bright it looks like they're on fire.
Okay, so it's not a direct comparison, but it is creating an image. What would we call that?
Oh, imagery.
Imagery. When it doesn't, when you're like, I think it's a metaphor, but it's not a direct comparison, it's gonna be imagery. Okay, what else? Joy, what is distant deeps?
Alliteration.
Alliteration, you're gonna see a lot of alliteration. Okay, there is an allusion. Let's see if anybody, the last class could not answer this. What does this allude to? What the hand dare seize the fire, and it is going to be an allusion to something in Greek mythology. Lena?
I wanna say it's Prometheus.
Oh, you got it. Okay,
I was gonna say
Prometheus.
that.
So he's the guy that stole fire and gave it to the mortals? Wasn't that part of the Pandora's box story? I'm not
Yes,
strong in
it's
Greek
sort of
mythology.
Started with it.
Okay.
It's the creation story.
So that's an allusion right there. That's referring to literature. Okay, third stanza. Okay, now Davis, tell me where there's an anaphora in the third stanza.
Is it what?
Yeah. What shoulder, what art, what dread hand, what dread feet, all of that is anaphora. Okay, they just keep repeating that same phrase as a question, which is really effective. Okay, let's go on to the fourth stanza. What do you guys see?
The same thing.
What,
hammer,
no,
what
what
chain,
the-
what anvil,
Yeah.
what dress.
Anaphora.
Okay, so we've got all this. This is
I see
still
anaphora.
an aphora. Okay, something else? Kind of, Julie?
I don't know what it is, but in what furnace was thy brain?
Okay.
That's a metaphor, right?
It's
No.
not comparable.
I would
Wait,
say-
no, it's, but it is, yeah.
It's imagery. Because it's not saying your brain's a furnace, but it is creating an image of like this person being in a furnace with a hammer and an anvil. Okay, there's one more in the last line. Jaden, what would dare is deadly be?
Maybe, isn't it like having the same letter?
Uh-huh, yeah. Alliteration? Okay.
Excuse you.
Okay, Grayson,
Yeah.
how about this one? When the stars threw down their spears, what would you call that?
Personification.
It is, because stars don't really throw down spears, so personification, and it goes here, watered heaven with their tears, so they're giving human qualities to the stars. Okay, now, what else do you see? Did he smile his work to see? Did he who made the lamb make thee? Julie?
The lamb is a reference to Jesus.
Awesome, so we're gonna call that an illusion. And what made you think that was Jesus?
Because he's called the lamb.
The Lamb of God, and it's capitalized here, so. Now, what do you think, Jack?
Is that an anaphora for twice?
It could be an anaphora, yes. Who do you think that's an allusion to? Did he smile his work to see? Did he who made the lamb make thee?
God.
Yeah, so now we've got an allusion to God. Okay, I'm a big fan of capitalizing the pronouns that describe God, but that is not grammatically correct. So there's nothing that clues you in except who made Jesus? Well, God. I mean, who coexisted? God. So we're not gonna do the last one because it's the same as the top one. So now we're gonna do the harder thing. And let's do it on this, on your 14A. Let's summarize each stanza on this, okay? So we did it on, you've got, this is your homework sheet. Okay, so first stanza, I've already really told you this, but what's the message? And it's really a message in the form of a question. Huck, do you have this?
Yes, I have.
Okay,
I
so,
was wondering, did we do the last one, the last poem on the back of the other sheet?
no, we didn't. I
Okay,
put them
good.
together,
I was
front back.
hoping I did it right, because I read it
Yeah.
at the top.
Yeah.
I do not have that sheet.
This sheet,
No.
okay, it's front and back. Maybe if you turn that, okay. Okay, so we're gonna summarize what's the message in the first stanza, and it's a question, and I've really already said it. What's the question that's being asked? Who made the tiger? So you're gonna write this down. Who made the tiger? I'm gonna spell it the way I spell it. Okay, so that's the first one. Tay, you got it?
Oh.
Man. Oh, I can't even see.
Why did that go up?
Oh, here we are.
Okay, so stanza one, you should write, who made the tiger? That's the definitive question. And that's the theme. Okay. Second stanza. Grayson, you are not being a participant at all. Go sit over here. No, go sit over here. And I don't appreciate you holding court while we're trying to get things done. It's just taking us off of task. Okay, so second stanza, what's the message here? In what distance deeps or skies burnt the fire of thine eyes? On what wings dare he aspire? What the hand dare seize the fire? This is hard. It's all questions. So we're gonna ask this in another question format. what's it asking? Lena?
What was, I guess, the inspiration for making the tiger? Or who dared make the tiger, I guess, I don't know.
Where did he come from?
Yeah, it's kind of, in what distant deeps or skies, so that's more of a where, on what wings he aspired, that's a where, and there's a who here. What's the hand? So where was the tiger made?
How?
And then you could maybe put in parentheses, how and who. Those are gonna be asked again. Okay. And then the next stanza, and what shoulder and what art could twist the sinews of thy heart, and when thy heart began to beat, what dread hand and what dread feet. So what is this talking about? Like,
who physically created it almost, who fashioned it?
okay, and all the parts. This is really getting more detailed about your shoulder, the tendons, your heart, your hand, your feet. So who created the parts of a tiger? Okay, so tiger is definitely our theme, but this has got much more of a creation focus. Okay, fourth stanza, what the hammer, what the chain, in what furnace was thy brain, what the anvil, what dread grasp dare its dead. Okay, so he's talking about a hammer, a chain, a furnace, an anvil. This isn't a where or what. These are
Who built
tools.
it? Oh.
How?
Oh.
Okay? So how was the tiger created? So you can see he's really looking at every aspect. Okay? Where, who, how. Okay? Fifth stanza, when the stars drew down their spears and watered heaven with their tears, did he smile his work to see? Did he who made the lamb make thee?
So is it saying did a divine power make it?
He's asking a question, but he's actually giving you the answer in a question form. Did he who made the lamb make thee? Who is he suggesting made the tiger? God, okay? That the same one who created Jesus created God. So God created the tiger. And it shows God has power over the stars. He made the Lamb of God. It refers to heaven. So all of this is suggesting that God created the tiger. Okay? And then number 7 is just echoing first question. Okay? So they give the answer, and then they echo the first question. Okay, so let's jump up here and go, well, what is the central message? If we've summarized each stanza, there's a lot of literary devices, but what is the central message of this poem?
How was the tiger made?
Where did it, yeah.
Who made the tiger? Okay, so back up here, who made the tiger? Okay, and you could even say he's concerned with all of creation, like who's the creator? And he's giving all these little metaphors for creation, like having an anvil and a hammer, okay? Making the tiger in a furnace. Take,
What was number 3?
who created the parts of a tiger? Okay, so let's talk about the speaker and voice. What do you think this is in? First person, second person, third person? Lena? Third person, because you see the he. Okay, so those are third person pronouns. So the author isn't in this. What mood? What mood does this create in you when you read it? And you can look at this little sheet. You don't have a word. But Huck, you may very well have a mood. What?
Oh, well, I was gonna say tone, but mood is like,
You. What does it?
I don't know.
Okay, so here's what I would write. What? Okay, maybe curious.
I was gonna say that for tone, like curiosity, like he's asking all those questions.
Sometimes tone will be the same as mood, but let's just talk about for a minute how this makes you feel. Now again, stay away from the word bored. You may not like poetry, don't make that your definitive word. What does it make you, what would be the feeling created in you? Lena?
Thoughtful.
Okay, thoughtful. You're thinking about who made this. I would say, for me, awe-filled. Like when he starts talking about the aspects of the tiger and to think of God making that. Anything else that could go under mood, Lena?
I guess like respectful.
Okay, respectful.
Respect for the creator.
Okay. So just, he's really drawing back the curtain, like there's that amazing tiger. What went into making this tiger? Okay, and then the tone. So Huck, what do you think the author's feeling is?
I think it's curiosity, because he's asking those questions, wondering where it came from.
Okay. What else? Isaac, what would be another word for tone?
Well, I was gonna say that, but I don't know.
Reagan?
Is realization a word?
What?
Like realization, is that a word? Like realizing?
Motivated? Oh, you guys, we're out of time. Okay. I would say he's also thoughtful.
Realization.
Publication.
You'll have to look that up. So you guys, your homework is to do this in the backside. You don't have much left to do, but that needs to be
But that's not how
completed.
you said it.
Your annotation is done. You'll show me both those tomorrow.
Yes.
So narrative has to have the elements of the story, has to have a plot, rising action, climax. Although, it can also be lyric, it can add certain hard questions, story emotion. That's what I think. I think it's very philosophical.
Miss Jones, you never turned it off.